everybody, and welcome to Sarah's Fridays. Now this is about the 8th time I've recorded this video, and every time I have run over by about 5 minutes, so I'm going to change the topic because clearly that topic is just too much for me to relay via the medium of YouTube. So instead I'm going to talk about agoraphobia, and perhaps this won't take me quite so long. Now I hope everybody is okay to start with. Now, agoraphobia is otherwise known as the fear of open spaces. Now, I personally am not scared of going outside. Not scared. However, I am terrified of having a panic attack when I'm out. So, what I suffer with is panic attacks with agoraphobia. It started, God, I've always been nervy, anxious, whatever you want to call it, even growing up, really an on-edge child, and then growing up, still a bit loopy. But then when I can remember several times, actually, before the actual moment that sealed the deal, one time I was going out with my friends, and I was driving down the road, and I felt really weird. I didn't know what it was. Had a drink of Coke, stopped the car, felt really hot, sick, blah blah blah, heart racing, carried on. But then when I got there, it was supposed to be going to a club about 30 minutes away, and I just couldn't do it. That was time number one. The second time was when I was about, I don't know, 6, 8 weeks pregnant, and my friend was about 7 or 8 miles away, and she wanted me to go and pick her up. Now the road, actually no, it's more than that. Actually, it's about 10 miles. And the road is like it's really dark, no lights, it's very horrible. And I was driving there, and it was February, so it was really dark, and then all of a sudden I had this feeling come over me again, and had to stop the car, and I was too far away from home for it to be a quick exit home, so I had to just carry on, and it was terrifying. Again, I didn't know what it was, and I think that was the last time I had like a panic attack. Until I was, what, 5 months, I can't remember, it was in July anyway, it was in the July of 1998, and I was at work, and I passed out, and when I came round, I thought I was going to throw up or poo myself in front of all my colleagues, which isn't pleasant, and as a emetophobic, someone who's scared of being sick, I really didn't want that. And then, because I fainted, and hormonal, that got into my head, like, then I was scared to go out or drive in case it happened again while I was driving, so driving became a no-go. And then I had my son in the October, and I thought, right, it was all to do with, you know, pregnancy and all the rest of it, and I should be normal now, everything's fine, you know, it's all to do with that. Anyway, it turns out that it wasn't the case, and as soon as I got my son next to me in the car, panic attacks again, couldn't drive. I was terrified of, like, don't know, passing out, throwing up, and having a newborn in the car. And this just got worse and worse, and I was having frequent panic attacks until I just thought, fuck this, I'm not driving anymore, because obviously that's what's causing it. So I stopped driving, and then I was like going at, my mum was taking me out and stuff, and I started having panic attacks even more so when I was out. So then I was like, well, this ain't happening, is it? This is not working for me. So I stopped going out completely, and I was housebound for a very, very long time. In fact, I was room bound for a very, very long time, and I couldn't go upstairs to the toilet. I couldn't get in the bath because I felt trapped. I couldn't wash my hair because I felt trapped. I couldn't have anyone in my house because what was if I panicked in front of them. I couldn't. Speaking on the phone was a problem. Talking to anyone on the like an instant message, that was hard work. Couldn't do that either. It was all really crappy. And then oh, and I couldn't be on my own either. Yeah, my husband at the time, he worked literally 2 minutes down the road, I'd say, and I would panic from the time he shut the door till the time he would ring me to say he was at work, because it was like that no man's land, because I knew if I was going to have a panic attack, it would come on really quickly, really fast. So I'd panic, and then I'd be alright when he's at work, because then I could get hold of him. This is before we had mobile phones or anything. And then I'd phone him up, 15, 20 times a day, crying down the phone, come home, I'm having a panic attack. And then that's it. And then he'd come home for lunch, and I'd panic from him leaving work to coming home again. It'd just be, my whole life was just panic attacks, constantly panic attacks. I panic all the time. And if, like, for example, my mum would have to come and sit with me if I knew he was going up the town, like, to do shopping and stuff. And if he like went straight from work and my mum was like a few minutes late, I'd be sitting there just panicking like crazy, and I'd get really angry because, you know, she promised me that she'd be here at 5 o'clock, and if she's not here at 5 o'clock, I'm sitting there panicking. And I've got like a 9-month-old in like the baby walker and whatever he was doing at the time. But the thing is, I somehow managed to, you know, I could cope with him. You know, he didn't, although like I was doing it through panic attacks and stuff, I was still being a good mum to him. You know, I wasn't like abandoning him or anything. I was still doing my job as a mum, but after I'd like fed him, put him to bed, whatever, I was panicking. And it was an awful time. Anyway, I've got to speed this up a bit. So 2002, I left him, my ex, and I started getting a bit better. And then I gradually I bought a car, and I was able to go like about a mile or so down the road. So I was getting, you know, compared to being room bound, I was doing quite a lot better. And then I one day, like after about 18 months of not having one, I started having panic attacks again. And it shocked the hell out of me because I forgot how awful they were. And in the space of about 2 weeks, I had about 3 or 4, which did me no favours. And from then again, I was housebound for a bit, doing my online internet shopping again. And then I realised that was all to do with being in the relationship that I was in. He was just making me feel like absolute dog shite. So he went because I was just not doing any better. So he divorced me because I was nuts. And then along came my boyfriend. Now when I got with my boyfriend, I could only go out with my mum in the car. I couldn't go anywhere else with anybody else. But last year I even managed to go camping for the night about an hour away. So from going to from being room bound to being able to go camping is quite an amazing thing. The thing is, I still can't go out on my own. This is what I struggle with. I can't go anywhere on my own at all, nowhere. Can't leave the house on my own. But I can do stuff with my boyfriend, which is good. I can still obviously do stuff with my mum, but now I can get to my friend who lives a little way away. I can go camping, I can go shopping, I can go to the doctors, I can do all these things without having all this pressure on my mum. So slightly the pressure has changed. I mean, I'm not saying I rely on my boyfriend at all, because I don't, because I wouldn't do that because it's not fair. But if I need to, then he will take me to these places that I need to go. But panic attacks and agoraphobia is just awful, because what do you want to do? You want to go out. You don't want to sit indoors all day. I mean, I sit indoors in these 4 walls all day, every day, and it is really, really crappy. But I am hopeful that I will get better one day, because I don't want to be like this forever, because I can't be like this forever, because quite frankly it drives me insane. I hate it. And before I got agoraphobic, I was very social. I had a good social life, had a lot of friends, but then as I got more and more sick, my friends sort of just left me and deserted me. Quite, that's being blunt. They just left. They didn't want to know anymore, because, I can't go anywhere. But it's hard trying to explain to other people what agoraphobia is like, because even some of my family still don't get it, and I've had it for 13 years, so if they don't get it, if my family don't get it, how am I supposed to tell other people and get them to understand? Because I mean, I'm quite lucky with the fact that my boyfriend told all his friends that I had this immediately. So if I ever go around theirs, they're fully aware that if I need to go, I need to go. It's not because I'm being rude. It's because I'm feeling anxious, whatever. And they understand that. They are completely, they understand it. So that is amazing. Whereas my ex-husband never introduced me to any of his friends because I was crazy. So I feel very lucky in that respect, that I have a group of people, like an extended group of people who do know about my illness and that aren't judging me because of my illness. In fact, I couldn't ask for, nicer people around. So yeah, if you want to know anything else about agoraphobia or panic attacks or anxiety or anything like that, then just send me a message. And I'm really having to do this fast, to say I've done so many videos that have all run over. And now that's it. Right, so I'm going now. Bye.